now we're on part example 2. Example 2, find the exact value of the remaining trig functions. So remember there's 6 of them. There's 6 trig functions. I gave you sine of theta already. So sine of theta is 2 over 5. And I'm also giving you another piece of information here. Cosine of theta is negative. So I'm going to draw a particular coordinate plane here. Sine is positive 2 over 5. So I can only have it in quad 1 or quad number 3. And it says that cosine of this same angle is negative. When quad 1, everything's positive. In quad 2, cosine's negative. So this is where I'm going to draw my angle. Oh, I'm sorry, my triangle. Here is angle theta, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. So sine of theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So currently I know 2 measurements out of the 3 of this particular triangle. I can definitely find out what this is. So using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A is 2 squared plus b, something I don't know, which is this piece right here, equals 5 squared, which is my hypotenuse. This is 4 plus b squared equals 25. Subtract 4 to both sides. B squared equals 21. You are going to take a square root. Okay, so b equals square root of 21. So this is where I'm going to put square root of 21. Now technically, this is a measurement of a distance or a length. So there's no negative or positive. But because I am in quad number 2, I'm going to say that, hey, this is a negative rod 21. So when I write my answer, I don't forget that it's negative or positive. So it says find the exact value of the remaining trig functions. That means I'm going to have 5 more to find because sine is already given. So here you go. Cosine of theta. And no, you're not looking for what theta is. You're looking for the ratio of each trig function. So tangent of theta, cotangent of theta, cosecant of theta, and secant of theta. Okay. Alright, so here's the same triangle. You're not going to draw anything new. Cosine of theta is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, so negative. See, notice how because I wrote negative here, I know to put the negative back on my answer. Tangent of theta is going to be opposite over adjacent, so negative 2 over rad 21. You're going to rationalize this by multiplying top and bottom by rad 21. So my final answer is be negative 2 times rad 21 all over 21. I'm going to box that up because I have some work here, so I want to make sure this is clear for my teacher to know that, hey, this is actually the final answer. Cotangent, I'm just going to take the reciprocal of tangent, so negative rad 21 over 2. And I don't need to do any work because it's already rationalized. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of sine. And sine is 2/5, so cosecant is going to be 5 over 2. Secant is going to be the reciprocal of cosine. So what I need to do is I'm going to flip this. So negative 5 over square root of 21. I need to do a little bit of algebraic. Take the square root of, multiply both top and bottom square root of 21. This is going to be negative 5 times rad 21 all over a positive rad 21. So I believe I have box 5 solutions, and I'm looking for the remaining 5 trig functions. And that's beautiful, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to leave these 2 in the bottom for you guys to do. So let's check this out. Okay, so it says here, sine is positive, so let's draw it out. Sine is positive in this quad and this quad, okay? Cosine, it didn't say cosine is less than 0. It's just telling me that cosine is a negative 2 root 505, which is telling me, hey, cosine's negative. So it looks like I'm drawing this right triangle in the same quad 2 as the previous example. Well, you can attack this in a couple of different ways, okay? And I'm probably gonna show you both ways. Would you agree that sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse? Okay, if you believe that's true, then let's talk about what your hypotenuse need to be. If you look at this, would you agree that this is the answer once you are done with rationalization? So if it's before rationalization, would you agree that it's going to be 1 over square root of 5? And over here, would you agree that the answer before you simplify is going to be 2 over square root of 5, and there's a negative in the front? So these two right here is going to be your pre-simplify solutions, right? So if I know that and I want to check, hey, square root of 5 is between 4 and 9, right? Between square root of 4 and between square root of 9. So I know that it's about 2.2 if I have to guess what square root of 5 is. And as long as my hypotenuse is the largest, then I know that's probably going to be correct. So right now, okay, I know right away my hypotenuse is rad 5. Sine is going to be opposite, which is 1 over rad 5. And cosine is going to be adjacent over square root of 5. Okay, so this is a method that if you see it, this is what you can do. And then I'll do another method that, hey, what if I don't see that? Then what can I do? So I'm missing a couple of trig functions, okay? Currently you have 2 right here. All I have to do is find 4 more. Cotangent of theta, oh, this is theta here. Tangent of theta, cosecant of theta, and secant of theta. Okay. Cotangent of theta is going to be, tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent. So let's do that first. Opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over negative 2, which is really negative 1 over 2. No one really writes a negative 1 in the bottom. There's nothing wrong with it, it just doesn't look cute. Then cotangent, all I have to do is flip it. So if I flip negative 1 over 2, I get negative 2 over 1, which is really negative 2. Cosecant, I just have to take the reciprocal of sine. So if sine is opposite over hypotenuse, then cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite, or simply write square root of 5. Secant, it's going to be the reciprocal cosine, and cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if I were to flip it, I'm going to have hypotenuse over adjacent, which is really negative rad 5 all over 2. Okay. So those are my 4. Now, so let's talk about how would you find the answer if you did not see the pre-simplified version of it. Then you would just have to, you can still write, okay, you can still write this is x, this is y, this is x, and then find your y. Find your hypotenuse. So this is sine, which is similarly to your y. This is cosine, so similar to your x. Then from here, I just have to find the hypotenuse using Pythagorean theorem. So here we go. X squared, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this is square root of 5 over 5 square. You just have a little bit more work. Rad 2 rad 5 over 5 square equals c squared. Rad 5 square is 5. So 5 squared is 25 plus negative 2 squared is 4 times rad 5 squared is 5 all over 25 equals c squared. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 5 is going to give me 25 over 25, which gives me 1. Okay, and square root of 1 is going to be 1. So your c came out to be 1. Okay. Alright, so if c is 1, this tells me that this is a unit circle. Okay, if this is a unit circle, then let's see what happens when I do cotangent, tangent, cosecant, and secant. So, tangent, opposite over adjacent. Okay, so let me, you know what? Let me create some space here because I don't want to be super. Okay, so tangent, here we go. Tangent of theta equals this problem, opposite, which is rad 5 over 5 over, which is really mean division over negative 2 rad 5 all over 5. If I were to simplify this, I would have rad 5 over 5 times its reciprocal. Okay, so notice how this cancel, right? The rad 5 and rad 5 will cancel. I'm going to end up with a 1 on the top and a negative 2 on the bottom. Okay. If I have a negative 2, would you agree that this answer is identical to this answer? Oops, right there. So if you don't see it, you can still write out this is your y, this is your x, and find your hypotenuse regularly. You just have a lot more work to show. And still, but regardless, your answer is still going to be the same. And let's prove another one. I can probably do, let's do secant. Okay, I'm not going to find all 4 values again because the answers are going to be identical. But what if I want to find secant of theta? Well, secant of theta is going to be the reciprocal of cosine of theta. Well, I know what cosine is. Cosine is negative 2 rad 5 over 5. If I were to flip it, then it would be 5 over negative 2 rad 5. Okay. What if I rationalize that? Okay, here we go. Rationalization. That's fun. So on the top, I have 5 rad 5. On the bottom, I have negative 2 times 5. Would you agree that this 5 and that 5 would cancel? So I'm going to end up with rad 5 over negative 2, which is the same as this answer. Okay, so this is slightly longer because you have a little bit more algebraic to do, which I feel like a lot of you make silly mistakes during algebraic work. So if you can recognize that, hey, this is the reduced or the simplified version of this, then it's so much easier to know what the triangle is, or the measurements of the triangle. Okay? All right, do me a favor. For the rest of this today, can you please do these 2 on your own? Okay, both of them. And I would check it in class the next time I see you. Have a great day.